Testing 1, 2. Good evening. It's Thursday night, a little after 9 p.m. Had some technical difficulties. Seems to be a trend. My desktop computer crashed right before I started streaming, so got rebooted, get everything up. Here in the background, you can see the Ender 3. Hey, there's Sajesh. Hey, buddy. In the background, you can see the Ender 3 printing away. I have working on a horse model for a friend's kid. she really likes horses, so I'm making one that's in 3 big pieces. In the end, it's going to be, you know, a good size horse. This is actually the bottom half upside down with the legs up in the air. Hey, Jed. Jed's here. Sajesh is here. So anyway, it's running away. It's been running for, I don't know, a long time. I finished the tail earlier today. It's, you know, just a horse's tail. It glues onto the top piece, so judging by the size of the tail, I think you can kind of guess the size of the horse model. I don't know. So excuse me. The Ender 3 is definitely a step up in technology, I think, from the CTC I have. I've had it for about 2.5 years, and it's a nice workhorse, but the Ender 3, it's able to move about twice as fast. It's got a bigger bed, a lot more newer technology and stuff going on. Anyway, so that's what's going on there in the background. But what I wanted to talk about, let me pull this up, this evening. So there's a website called Instructables, and Instructables has well, all kinds of instructional type tutorials and videos and step-by-step guides for doing all kinds of things. You can see here it says let's make, and then there's a box to type in. So there's technology, instrument, workshop, craft, home, all kinds of things. Something that's really interesting to me is they have classes. So you want to learn about electronics, you can enroll in the electronics class. And these classes are free. You know, you want to learn how to use a table saw, you can take a table saw class. And then there's a bunch of different featured items and things like that. And these are all projects. Some are 3D printed, some are, you know, woodworking, some are cooking. There's just all kinds of stuff. That's cool. An interactive predator costume with head tracking plasma gun. So there's just all kinds of crazy, interesting stuff on here. Now, what they also have are contests, and I like a good competition. So I was thinking that maybe I'm going to look at this puzzle challenge. I also see this first time author contest. Well, I've never written in Instructable before. And if I enter the puzzle contest, or the puzzle challenge, then I would be writing my first Instructable, in which case I could also enter the first time author contest. So, kind of a interesting side effect there, I guess. But so anyway, the puzzle challenge, it's open to all Instructables showing how to make a puzzle, any variety. The grand prize, as you can see right here, is a Creality CR10. Now the Ender 3, which I'm printing back here, that's also by Creality. So the CR10 is like the Ender's big brother. And it talks about, you know, second place is some Dremel rotary tool stuff and all kinds of 3D printing things, tools and such, I'm sure. And there's also a special TinkerCAD judge prize for projects that make the best use of TinkerCAD within the Instructable. And then it says there's only 25 days left. And if you keep looking, there's only 3 entries so far. So I'm thinking, there's only 3 entries so far, there's 25 days, that's not a lot of time, and there's 20 prizes. I'm going to give it a shot and see, you know, even if I can make a runner-up, that'd be pretty cool. So I was thinking about what to do, and also, like I said, the first time author, I've never made an Instructable before. So by doing an Instructable for the puzzle challenge, I would be able to enter that Instructable into the first time author contest as well, which has 53 days left, 7 entries so far, and all kinds of cool prizes. There's a MacBook Air, some iPads, Leatherman, you know, all kinds of fun stuff. So I was thinking about the puzzle challenge, and I was thinking about TinkerCAD, and I was thinking what might be cool, and what I labeled this episode. Maybe I didn't label it. No, I labeled this episode Instructable and Challenge. I don't know what I labeled it. Anyway, what I thought would be cool was to make a 3D printed 3D puzzle. So, hop over to Thingiverse, and I was thinking about some stuff like, you know, what if, look at some octopus models, and they're intricate and pretty cool, but not really what I was looking for. And then I thought, what about, I don't know, something Christmassy. And see, that's kind of cool. That's not really a puzzle. I mean, it's kind of a puzzle, right? A two-dimensional thing that's 3D printed and then folded together. But something like that might be cool. And then my wife said, what about a globe? And I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. Like a world. And I've seen a lot of like wooden 3D puzzles before, right? So, wooden 3D puzzle. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff here, right? I mean, there's the regular squares and things like that, which are pretty cool. But then, yeah, like this giant bridge, or some kind of a Japanese temple or something. Here's an owl. You know, those are pretty cool. And, you know, here's a big pirate ship or whatever. So something kind of like that. And there's always, let's see, 3D puzzle, globe. Yeah, these still aren't really what I'm thinking about. But I'm sure you understand when I'm talking about the 3D puzzles, like back when I was a kid, we would get them, and they would be like these thin slices. And you'd have to stack them up in the right order. And the contours of the slices would make, you know, the face or the globe or whatever. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about. And I dug around on Thingiverse earlier, looking at some of these different models, and also taking their licensing into consideration. So like this one, Creative Commons attribution, share alike. You know, there's some of them that can't be used for commercial. There's some of them that are, you know, no license, free to use for anything. So I already downloaded this globe model here. It's this relief model with the sea. I think it's actually not this one. Maybe it was this one. Oh, no, that's not the one. But anyway, it was one of these. This one? Oh, no, this was the one that was 2 halves. Anyway, I imported the model in here. Let me go full screen. Nope. I got a new laptop. So there's some new function keys I'm trying to figure out here too. Alright. And then I close the window. Just open TinkerCAD again. Okay. So if this is going to be a puzzle, it's going to be multiple slices. and it's going to need to sit on something, so it's going to be a stand, and those slices will slide down onto the stand in order. So maybe the very last piece would actually cover the top of the stand too. That'd be pretty cool. So then I wonder what size should the layers be. Maybe, let's see, if I'm going to grab the ruler, stick this over here, and I'm going to grab a box. So if it was 5 millimeters, oops, did the wrong one, 5 millimeters tall. That's a pretty good thick slice. And how tall is this piece? This is 105.5 millimeters tall. So on the CTC, or not the CTC, the Ender, that would be just below half of the height that it could print if it was printing the entire sphere in one go, the globe in one go. It's about 100 square, 100 millimeter cube is the volume it takes up. So that's pretty good, I think. So if I'm going to go ahead and take that down a little bit. We're just going to go ahead and make all three of them 100, so it's a perfect cube, even if it's not necessarily a perfect globe or sphere, right? Because the Earth isn't a perfect sphere. And we care a little more about dimensional accuracy for the slices. So then, how could I go about slicing this? Well, first of all, delete that guy. So I'm going to get 2 boxes. And I'm going to make this 125 by 125. And shape, by the way, 125. And I'm going to center the 2 of these together. Yeah. Okay. So right now, this cube hole is big enough to cover the entire globe. I'm going to duplicate that and put it back over. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these slices, not slices, but these holes. I'm going to move these holes apart so that there'll be that gap, and then cinch it up and move it up, and cinch it up and move it up, and save each individual slice as we go along. So, grab this first one now. I'm going to take it down to minus 20. There's a long axis. This one, minus 20. So now it's below the plane there. And this one, this distance is how far the globe is above the base plane. So I'm going to set that back to 0. And then I'm going to grab this guy, and he's going to go up here by 5 millimeters. So right there is our very first slice. So now I'm just going to grab them all together group it. Give it a second to think about it. And there's our first slice. First slice of the puzzle. Now, before I do this though, I did make a hole in the middle for the stand. And I didn't make a stand. So, let me undo that. And I'm just going to copy all that and move it over. And then on this side, we'll make a stand. Start with a, let's see, you can do like a cone base to a cylinder, and yeah, that'd be good. So that first slice wasn't very big around, so the cylinder can't be that very big around either. I'm gonna make that first slice again just so we can make sure our stand isn't too big. Alright. So, we'll start with a cone. And I'm just going to make this kind of big right now just to see it, right? So let's go to 40 by 40 by 40. And grab a cylinder. The cylinder I think should be a little bit smaller than the cone base, but also it has to fit excuse me inside the slices. So this first slice is about 35 by 35. If the 10 millimeters isn't very much, you maybe go 15 millimeters by 15 millimeters. It looks like 20 by 20 would be too big. But I don't know yet. Because maybe 15 by 15 is too small. Oops. Oh my gosh. I'm used to this new mouse. Okay. I'm just gonna not move it. I want to grab the, there we go, the box, make it taller. And to start with, I'm going to center these two. And center these two. Alright. I don't know if that base is going to be big enough. I'm going to go ahead and just make it, I'm going to add 20 to that. And recenter. Because it's got to be the base for the post and all the pieces are on it, right? So it's got to be big enough around at the bottom. Center these two. And with that, nice purple base. And over here. So this is the same size rod. Maybe it's not. 131 high. This is 131 high. So I actually put the rod all the way through the base. That might be okay. We'll see how it turns out. So I'm going to turn this into a hole. And I'm going to bring the rest of the globe back. And see, that's way too tall. So bring this down. So it's just under Let's see, if I make this a hole, we can see it. Yeah. So I need to join, and so that's sticking at the bottom pretty far. So that means if it goes on here, that top is going to be way too tall. So what size does this need to be? Oh, 100 millimeters. I guess that makes sense because we made it a 100 millimeter cube. Ha! Alright. So this needs to be 100. And then also flatten out the base a little bit. Come on. Which is not correct. I want to ungroup it. Make this 100. Maybe 110. No, okay, hold on. How tall is this? This is 40. So I make this 140. Yeah. I make this 140. And it'll stack up the bottom there because from the only the orange part is 100 millimeters. So group that back together. Group that back together. I like that purple. Change it back to purple. And now I've got the globe. You get the globe and the hole. And group those. Come on. Is it grouping? There we go. You can see it's got the whole straight through Antarctica almost to the North Pole. So now let's grab these guys, move them back over here, whoops, and start working on the slices. Send that guy in a distance for now. Okay. So right now, this should be set for the first slice because that's not 0. Oh, because it shaved off a little, but that's okay. It was 0 before we made the hole. And this is 5 millimeters above the baseline. So if we group this, we'll have the first slice, and it'll have a hole in it. Nice. So I'm going to copy that, put it over here, and now come back to this one, and ungroup it. And now it's just going to be a repeat, right? So this was -20. Now this needs to be -15. And this was 5. This now needs to be 10. You can see we have the next slice. Group that. Alright. There's the hole. The hole's not exactly center. I didn't think about that. So let's undo, undo, undo. Oh, come on. There we go. So I'm going to remove this guy. Those are back at the first 5 millimeter slice. Move them over temporarily. Both of those. Come on, mouse. Ungroup again. Grab the hole and the planet. Nope, undo. Ungroup. Grab the hole and the planet. And you need to align those together. The center, the center. Yep, that's good. And now group it. Oops. And now it's going to be the center of the globe. Come on. There it goes. Alright. Let's slide these over again. So I'm wondering, do you think 5mm is too small? Should it be bigger than that? I mean, if we did 10mm, it's only going to be 10 slices, right? You know what? Let's do it at 10mm for now, and we'll get a good feel for what that looks like, what it seems like, and I'll print a prototype, and we'll see how it looks. So there's a 10mm gap. Put this. There we go. Nice slice there. Now when these print, it's going to be nice that every single one has a flat surface, because it's best, like, you know, over here on the horse, it's printing from a flat surface with its legs up in the air, and the other piece is printing on a flat surface with the head and the back coming up. So having these slices with flat surfaces like this is going to make it really easy to print too. Alright, so I'm going to copy this, paste that, move that guy over a lot. You know what? I ought to set it up on the stand as we pull them out. These two. Alright. Back over here. One group. And this one is now going to be 20 for the base. And this one needs to move to 0. Nope, I moved up too low. Needs to move to -10 because we're doing 10 slices. Grab the 3, group them. Get another slice. Copy paste. Here. Nice. To the front and on group. And move this one up. Now to 30. Move this one up to 0. Group. Just rinse and repeat. Oh, hey, Garrett, how you doing? It says, yo, you still going? Yep, cranking away here, man. Copy this and paste it. Shift this one over here. Line it up. And shift it up just a little bit. This is turning out pretty well. Garrett asks, is that a bong? No, man. That's the stand for the planet. And Jed says he's got the whole world in his puzzle. One thing I did notice, I think I'm going to have to make the stand a little bit thinner, because if it's exactly the size of the hole, it's going to be too tight of a fit. So I'll have to fix that in a minute. Let's get these last few slices worked out here. Take this one up to 40 millimeters. Now what we're changing here is the distance of the base of the model piece, the base of this mesh from the plane. So right now this is sitting at 0 and we're going to move the bottom of it up to 10. Now this might be a problem now because we've got more stuff hanging out on the bottom. So I'm going to stretch this guy down. And I'm going to go down to, yeah, minus 40 will be good for now. Just as long as we can cover everything except for the slice that we're taking out. So group it. Copy paste. Slide it over. Slide it up. And ungroup. 50. So if this works out, I think it's going to, I'll write this up as a Instructable and submit it to both the puzzle competition and the first time author competition, and maybe I can get some bonus points for using TinkerCAD specifically, as there were some some additional prizes for that, so we'll see. Now, how cool would that be that after getting the Ender 3 putting together and everything just like working out so great there, that then playing around with TinkerCAD and I could win its big brother, the CR10. That would be awesome. I really wanted a CR10, but the Ender 3 was such a great deal, and it really is an amazing machine. I'm glad that I went with it. Alright. Group. Garrett says maths. Yep. Numbers are a wonderful thing. They mean stuff. Let's see. View here. There we go. So this is 50. We're going to move up 10 to 60. And this is negative 30. We're going to move up 10 to negative 20. And group the slices. Or group the pieces to make the slice. I have some ginger apple juice, and it's pretty potent. going to go to 70. And this one minus 10. I need to make that longer again soon. I'm going to do that now. Garrett says, I'm more of a word guy. Well, you know, if you spell the numbers, they become words. And that's kind of the same. You know, or word problems. You could do some word problems that would still be math. You know, it was my dad used to tell some joke, and it was a word problem, right? It was a math problem. He would say, you're driving a bus, and at the first stop, you pick up 3 passengers. Second stop, 1 guy gets off, 2 people get on. Third stop, 2 people get off, 1 person gets on. Fourth stop, 4 people get on. Fifth stop, 2 people get off, 4 more people get on. What was the age of the bus driver? And it's a great joke to tell some kids or something, because then they're like trying to figure out, they're keeping track of numbers and everything. At the beginning, he said, you are the bus driver. So, Jed, have you ever driven a bus? Just, you know, random question there. Go up to 80. Take this down plus 30. Keep it. I bet Jed's driven a bus. I think, from what I know about Jed, driving a bus is most likely in his repertoire. And if not, then we may need to make that happen. I'm just saying. So up to 90. We're almost to the top. And this is only a 100mm cube. Minus 20. Group it. Okay, it says 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that works. Almost there. Let's grab it over here. Move him up. Now, I'm not being super precise with setting these up over on the side. I'm just getting them out of the way. And now this one goes up to 100. Oop, that's out of the woods. Minus 10. This is the last slice. I hope I lined up the hole for the stand correctly, so that the top piece still has a part of the hole there, so it'll snap on top and be the final you know, piece there, and actually fits on the stand. We'll see. I could have been a little more accurate with that when I was cutting the hole there. Copy. Move that over here. Make this one. I'm going to move back here and ungroup it. Now, I keep moving this stuff out of the way just because I don't want to lose anything if I have to go back and adjust things, or be like, this is ridiculous, I've got to do it completely over again. All the pieces are there, and I can just move things around. Alright, let's see. Oops. This guy up on top. Garrett says, what tool are you using? On my phone screen, I can't read. This is TinkerCAD. It's a free computer-aided drafting software. It's from Autodesk. It's not quite as feature-rich as like you know, the serious stuff, but it works out for importing a model if there's not too many faces, manipulating things. Like you can see here, I imported this world model and started slicing it up. I can show you a few other things with it here in a sec. But let me grab all of these now. Shift this over front and center. Ah, grabbing stuff in the background. I'm gonna lock this stuff down so I can't move it. Alright. So now I think I'm just going to try and grab all of these slices, as well as the base, and just center them with each other. Oops, because it all should just kind of snap right in place there. Yeah, check that out. So like I said, this base piece here, let me make this a little bit smaller because this was exactly the same size as inside, so 15 by 15. We bring it down to like, well, first of all, I want to give it 64 sides, so it's round and not like chunks. I mean, it's still chunks, right? But it's still lines, but there's a hole out of them, so it looks more smooth. The hole itself was still at like 16 sides. So by making this a little bit smaller and more round, it'll be more forgiving from sliding them on. They don't have to line up like matching up like a hex nut with a tool or something. So yeah, I'm gonna go down to 13 by 13. Recenter that with the base. I feel like I grabbed something extra that time. Just the base. And just this piece here. Nope, I missed it. Come on. There we go. So there. And so there. Group those again. Alright. So this bottom one looks like it's about where it would go. This one shifts down there. Now it settle there. Yep, right there. Come on down, slices. It's like we made an earth sandwich. Oh wow, okay, so there's a problem. The base is too tall. Oh, let's check and see, was there a hole in the bottom of this one? Yes, beautiful. But it's gonna go down and stop like right there. So the base is still too tall. Alright, so we'll ungroup that again. Grab this one. Come on. There we go. Slide this down. Now just to see what's going on here, I'm going to make this top slice a hole. And it looks like, zoom out. Yeah, that is right at the top. So I'm gonna lower the lower this just a tiny bit more. Right there, yeah. Cool. Let me turn it back on the side. So in theory, whoops, still not used to this new laptop mouse. So here we have 10 slices to make and a base to make a globe puzzle. So, you know, it is possible that some of these pieces, whoops, wouldn't get flipped on that axis. Right, twist it around, and you gotta line it up just right to get the continents lined up good. And it's possible to get them out of order when putting it together. And it's not the sphere, it looked kind of funky, or the piece may go on upside down. So I think that's a, depending on which definition of puzzle you're looking for, I think that would be a successful puzzle. So, as I was talking about earlier, whoops, sorry, the puzzle challenge says there's a special prize for using TinkerCAD, and so far on the entries only one of them has used TinkerCAD, and that's an extra $100 Amazon gift card and an Instructable prize pack. Grand prize is the Creality CR10, the big brother to my new favorite printer, the Ender 3. First prize, there's 3 Dremel rotary tool kits and Instructables prize pack. Second place, there's some wooden 3D jigsaw puzzles, which is kind of what I'm looking at here too, right? Except it's not wood, it's plastic. And then 10 runner-ups with the Instructable prize pack with the pins and the cup and all that kind of fun stuff. So, has to be published between November 12th and December 10th. Now that I've gone through the steps myself one time, I can duplicate that with screenshots and all that. And, alright, Garrett, since you gotta head out, thanks for stopping by, man. Have fun at your event this weekend, and I'll catch up with you later. But, yeah, I think that would be a successful puzzle. And maybe what I'll do in the actual Instructable is start out with the 10mm slices, and then do a second one with 5mm slices, maybe like I don't know. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. Is there... Look for like an Einstein bust or something. Mount Rushmore, Barack Obama, alien head, that might be cool. Lenin, Yoda. His ears, though, I don't think would work out very well. Stanley, Ghostbusters. Washington. Ooh. A rhino might be cool. Especially since it's not like smooth, so it's got the extra difficulty because of the shapes and stuff on the head. Let's see which license is that. Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial. That works. I'm not gonna sell it. let's see, there's with eyes and without eyes. There's all kinds of options in here. Look at the files. And they're small sizes too. That's one thing about TinkerCAD. The smaller the size, the model file, and the smaller number of faces or triangles, the better. I've tried to import, what was it, the I Dream a Genie bottle back in like episode 4 or something, and it died. It was just, there's too many faces. It wouldn't work. Let's see. Let's look at the rhino bust with eyes and no supports. Just save the file, thank you. And I'm gonna go back over to TinkerCAD. Oh, okay. Before I jump into that, before I get ahead of myself, I'm gonna export these slices in the base. So I'm just gonna grab. I'm just gonna grab all of them. And if I go to export with these selected, it says 12 shapes. I hit STLs. I don't have the slicer on this laptop. Let me switch over to the desktop. Since TinkerCAD is on a website, shift things around here a little bit. I can very easily use a work on files on any computer. Sorry, camera was in the way. There was a warning there. So let me pull up a new window. Go into TinkerCAD. Oops. And you see here our Daring Wolt Bojo. Oops, I'm going to tinker this. A ginger spicy. You let me know what you think about having the chat box in here. I noticed when I went back and was reviewing the feed, the episodes. You know, I'm doing some interaction with the people in the chat, but when rewatching, you don't really know what they're saying. So I was playing around with Streamlabs OBS and got it worked out to get it in there. But let me know what you think. And with the, I'm using my handy dandy old Android phone to switch the scenes again, right? So I can hit the button on the screen and it switches the scenes. And now you can see it says no signal from my laptop. I picked up a Elgato HD60, so I can stream from my laptop, from the Nintendo Switch, from the Xbox 360. You know, all kinds of options. I know my nephew's excited about that because he watches all kinds of gaming streams and stuff. So let's see here. We've got a planet here. Oop. My desktop mouse, it's a scroll ball with a ring around it, and the ring does the mouse wheel, and sometimes I hit that and it goes crazy. Right. Make sure I got everything selected. And I'm going to export this. And right now I'm just going to export all of them to show you what happens. It's exporting while it's doing that. I'm going to open up Simplify 3D. Move this over here. I could just sit and watch a 3D printer run for hours. Oh, you see here there's like a scene. I actually ran out of one of my white filaments in the middle of this. I knew I'd run out. And I knew I'd have to switch it. The Ender 3 actually has a filament change mode, which is really cool. So I waited until the last little strand popped off the spool and started changing this, changing the filament. When I got the second filament in and it started back up, though, I don't know if it was because it's a different brand, and I think I can tell a difference in the color as well. It's a different brand, but I don't know if it's a different brand, different additives, or whatever. It was extruding more plastic than the other one, so I actually had to adjust the bed a little bit. Ken, who's stopped by a few times before, mentioned that maybe I didn't get all of the old plastic out of the extruder nozzle, because, you know, push it, and make sure it's coming out and it's flowing well, which is possible too, and that caused some kind of a weird issue. But it was strange. I was hearing some noise, and I went and looked, and it was like bumpy as it was dragging across. So I adjusted the bed down just a smidge and got it in there. Okay, so we've got the export file. Where did Simplify 3D go? And right now you can see I've still got the top half of the horse in there, but let me drag and drop this in here. So this would be a single model, right? Which is not what we want, because we want the individual pieces. I wonder, there's a separate connected faces here. Oh, cool, that actually worked. So that worked here in Simplify 3D, and actually pulled them apart because it knows. Well, it sort of worked. I guess when I exported, these are actually too close together. But that's not how I really want to do it. What I really want to do is come back over here and export them one at a time. Zoom back in there. So first, I'm only selecting the base and go export STL. So now I drag and drop this in, you can see I didn't reconnect the pipe to the base, which is what we just saw. So let me grab these pieces. Move them out of the way. And it looked like here too, it's poking out of the bottom. So what is the full height of this? 139. I'll bring that down to 120. I'm going to do that from the bottom. Just move it up inside. Okay, so I forgot to group those back after moving them around because we'd taken the top piece off and whatever. So anyway, that's back to a single piece. I still like the purple. I have a really nice purple filament. I've printed a few things with it, and I want to do a big I Dream a Genie bottle on the Ender 3. It'd be like this big around at the base. Let's see if that worked. Nice. So this was just a quick little stand too, right? I mean, you could do anything with some legs coming out or whatever. I'm not even sure if this would actually hold the weight. You know, it was just a quick test. So I am going to make a folder in my Dropbox so I won't lose it. I have a Jeremy Makes Stuff folder somewhere. There we go. With some various clips and things. I'm going to make a new folder here, and I'm going to call this Globe Puzzle. And we'll start putting these in here. This was the stand. Now I'm going to export these one at a time and just name them, you know, in order by number. So I guess I'll start from the bottom. Yeah, I'll start from the bottom. Doesn't really matter. Check this over here. Name this 201. And next. Export. STL. And 02. Next. Export. STL. Drag it over. Rename 03. This one. Export. STL. Drag it over. Rename 04. This one. Export. STL. Drag it over. 05. Halfway there. Grab this one. Export. STL. Drag it over. Rename 06. Next. Export. STL. Drag it over. 07. Next. Export. STL. Drag it over. 08. Next. Export. STL. Drag it over. 09. And finally, export. STL. Drag it over. 10. So now, here with the Ender 3, I could probably, I don't know, get 4 or 5 of them on here to print together. Now, orientation makes a difference, right? So, let's see here. Number 1, this one's on the very, very bottom. So, we wouldn't want it to print. See, my mouse is going to act funny. We would not want it to print in this position because the bottom of it is where the detail is, and you can see the detail would be on the print bed. And then number 2, it might work going up at a slant, but it would be better if it's upside down as well. So I'm going to take number 1, switch to the mouse tool for that, and I'm going to rotate it on the y-axis by 180 degrees. And do the same for number 2. It looks like they disappeared, but they didn't. It just moved it under the bed because we flipped it, right? But when it hits center and arrange, it'll pop them back up to the top. Number 3, I'm going to do the same just because I like going from a bigger base to a smaller top instead of the other direction, if possible, right? So, number 4. Now I could have exported these in the other orientation so they would just be ready for this as well. Number 5. I think number 5, it still has a little bit of a, yeah, let's see. Tiger says, I would have named them by latitudes. Well, the, first of all, hey Tiger. There's a lot more than 10 latitudes. You know? And if I decide, when I do the actual Instructable for it, instead of going 10mm slices, I might go 5mm slices. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But, so the orientation matters when printing. and I was just flipping these so that the smaller piece is printing to the larger piece. And you can see here, like, it doesn't exactly fit, but I can move that around over here and shift this a little bit and kind of make it fit. And I've got all kinds of settings, all kinds of processes set up here. I've been trying to be careful about naming them appropriately. Let me see. I don't think I have a way to make it bigger. But the, let's see, do I... nope, I don't think so. Anyway, the, Tiger's just messing with me. Like, so I've been very careful about naming my processes and keeping them right, because I've got the two printers right now. I want to make sure I have this stuff organized. So I have a set of processes here for the CTC and a set of processes here for the Ender 3. And what I've kind of decided on is, so like this one, it's a 0666.2, so 0 infill percentage. The layer height is 0.2, and the top, bottom, and outline are 6. And I've been playing with a lot of stuff with the top, bottom, and outline is 6 lately. I think it turns out really well. Like I was showing earlier, this this tail for the horse that I'm printing, because there's a lot of sort of curves and details, because this was a 3D scan of something. Right, so it's going to have a lot more detail than if somebody just drops a cube into TinkerCAD and then wants to 3D print it. Having the extra shells makes it a little bit stronger, and I feel like it makes the detail come out a little better. I have these spool holders, print spool holders. Excuse me. For the base part of it, it's actually hollow. I did, I think it was 6 shells, but it's hollow inside, so it's just, you know, outlined 6 times going up, and it's pretty strong. You know, I mean, it flexes a little bit, but it's not gonna break or anything. And it didn't take as long as printing with a bunch of stuff. Tiger, I'm not sure how long you've been watching here, but just wanted to show off the Ender again. Still running back here in the background, doing the bottom half of an upside down horse. It's been running now, I think, 16 hours. So it's only 20% infill, but I wanted to make it good and solid chunk. Giving it, once I put it all together, giving it to a friend's kid. And she's going to be able to paint it or whatever. But, yeah, fun stuff. So anyway, so I could actually run those on the printer. But, as I said, my Ender 3 is busy. So I'm going to switch over to the CTC. And because it has a smaller bed, obviously this many pieces won't fit. But I can still do 2 or 3 at a time, depending on the sizes. I don't know if the I don't know if the base would fit, the stand would fit. Oh yeah, it does. So even the stand would fit on the CTC. So that's cool. So anyway, that's the plan. I'm going to write up a tutorial on how to do this and submit it to the puzzle contest and the first time writer contest. So that could be fun. Those are pretty thick too. That would be good for like 4 or 5-year-old maybe, 3 or 4-year-old. But cutting those in half, make them 5mm slices, take longer, obviously, to both create and to print. But cool, yeah. So I'm gonna set this up. Let's see. Tiger, do you have a suggestion on what the process setting should be for this? I want it to be quick, so I'm going to make it 0.3. And top and bottom, I'm just going to do 2 because they're going to be in the middle, right? You don't really see them. Outline, I'll cut that in half at 3. And maybe do like 15% infill. So this is now 15 by 223 and it's 0.3. And let's see if I can do, I'm going to try to print these in order too. So let me get 1, 2, and 3 on here. It's really close to the front. Shift this around a little bit. And prepare to print. I just want to see what this is going to look like here. Oh, hour and 44 minutes. That's not bad. As we've discussed, this is always a little short, so it's probably more like 2.5 hours. Only 33 layers, that's not bad. Looks like a lot of infill. Oh, it's reset the type. You go back to the fast honeycomb. Let's see how that looks. That's better. So the first layer, second layer, both solid. Third layer starts with the infill pattern. Yeah, Tiger says fast honeycomb infill. That's not bad. And it's only 33 layers because it's only 10mm and we're going at 0.3mm per layer. If Garrett was still around, I'd tell him, see, math. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm going to save that one. And I'm going to call this one CTC Globe 1. So that was 1, 2, and 3. I doubt I can get 4, 5, and 6 at the same time. Because they're getting bigger as we go up, right? Maybe 4 and 5. And again, I want to flip these over. Tiger says 10% infill. What did I do, 15? Oh yeah, I did 15. Okay, we'll go down to 10. Oops. I gotta keep my system. Let's see. It's, again, 33 layers. You know, the problem with only 10% infill and only 2 top layers is you know, like when I did that enterprise model, because of the distance between the the walls of the honeycomb, it sags in those spots. Now I know as this puzzle, when it goes together, that's not going to be that big of a deal. Except for maybe on the very top piece. And that one looked okay. So, anyway, let me see this. This is CTC Globe 02. And I guess I'll go back and redo the Globe 01. Actually, I'm going to do one by itself. Oh no, one's the very bottom one. That's right. So it doesn't matter. It's going to be fine too. So I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3 together. Flip them over. Arrange them. Get over here. Yep. Tiger says, I agree with what you were about to say. There's a little bit of a delay. I'm not sure what I was about to say or what you agreed with. Let's see, let me take a look at this up close. So you can see how the different colors are appearing here, and here on the left it shows like solid layer, gap, internal, outer perimeter, all that. The thinner the layers, the better this would look. But like I said, we're just going to 0.3 right now. You can see how it sort of stair steps up real quick. So it'll be fine for the test, for the demo. I don't remember if I saved this yet. I just hit the wrong button, so I didn't save it for sure the second time. Load 1, load 2. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's do 6 and 7. Now these should already be oriented to the biggest spot is on the bottom, because now we're going back up the sphere. Sorry, got a weird message on my remote thing that I've been using. Oh, you were about to agree with what I was saying about the 10% not the best with 2 layers. Yeah, but also this is just a test, right? I mean, just a quick print, and what's going to matter is the outside, not necessarily the top or the bottom. Just to take a few pictures for the Instructable. So, I'm good with the lower resolution and all that stuff. Let's see now. Yeah. Looks good. 64 cents for 2/10 of the world. Oh, oops. I tried to send to the printer. It's not connected to anything right now. This is the C Globe 03. Oh, 6 and 7. 8, 9, and 10. 8, 9, and 10. And like I said, because these are the top now, they're already oriented the way that I would like them to be. Print 10223. Yeah, so you can see on the very top one, those layers are not the prettiest. That's okay. Oh yeah, and that the center hole there is perfect. I don't see the bridging yellow color that often. There's some interesting bridging settings. I need to check and see. I have it set on this one. Bridging. Where was that? Other? Yes, bridging. So I was reading about the bridging settings and how like the faster the better. We talked about the Simplify 3D updates in a previous episode, and they had this really cool picture. Let me see. I'll find it real quick. Simplify 3D version 4.1 bridge settings. Nope, I just went to release notes. This one, what's new? Yeah. This is the good stuff. That's not the picture I saw earlier. And those are just under popular requests. Yeah, let's go into the release notes. Oh, that was 4.1.0, which was just released like 2 weeks ago. What I wanted to look at was release notes for 4.0.1. That's right. Simplify 3D. 4.0.1. Release notes. Nope, this came to the same place. Well, I don't know where it went. But anyway, there was this really cool picture that showed how the bridging settings change things. And, man. Because there was like this angled... Yeah, kind of like this. I'm like showing how it fixes this stuff. But anyway, I was reading some other blog or something, and it was talking about like speeding up the bridging settings is better. And one recommended like 150, not that one. Where was the speed? Speed, yeah, 150%. So I increased it to 150% previously. But, like I said, it's not very often that I see the, I don't just randomly print a model to see the bridging stuff happening. But yeah, this one looks like right there at the top of the, where the post goes in, there's a layer there with the bridging. So the yellow is there. Anyway, chased a rabbit. Let's finish this up. Oops, I exited. I wanted to save that. My camera's right in the way of that corner on the screen there. I'm not just dancing. There's not even music playing. Let's see. 04. And then I want to do the stand. Let's check that out. That's got one hexagon in it. Because remember the stand, it's only 13 millimeters by 13 millimeters. So apparently the 10% infill works out to be about 13 millimeters by 13 millimeters. Who knew? Cool. Alright. Save that one. We'll call this 05 stand. And exit preview. So I'll copy those onto my SD card and take them over to the CTC and print them up and see how it goes and see if it all fits together. And then I'll have a tested print I can take photographs of for the Instructable, as well as go through the steps I took with the two boxes, just moving together every however many units of measure, and that'll work out pretty well. I do have some video work I need to do, and I was given permission to work on it on the live stream as well by the client. Much like the I mentioned before, I did some visualization videos, visualizer videos for an artist. I've got another order from another artist, so I'm going to be working on that. I might, instead of doing it as a live stream, I might just do a video while I'm working on it, because there's a lot of stops and starts and I gotta go look something up and I'm still not 100% comfortable just like, hey, watch me do this. But I'll record a couple of them, and then if it's working out I might live stream some of it. But it's working with After Effects and playing around with having stuff move to the music and stuff. It's a lot of fun. Still have the Writing Code with Code project that started 2 weeks ago, and need to work on that some more, finish that one up. What else is going on? Thanksgiving is this next week. I don't think I'm going to do a stream on Thanksgiving evening. There's going to be, too much turkey and dressing that is taking place. That I don't know if I'm still going to be awake at 9 p.m. But maybe I can pick up a episode over the weekend or something. Not this weekend, but next. Maybe on Saturday or something. We'll see what's going on. If you have any ideas for episodes, if you like the 3D printing stuff, if you like the code stuff, if you like, the brainstorming business stuff we've done, the gaming stuff, that's another thing I need to do some more work on, is the levels for Bunny Runner. There's so many things going on and so many things I want to do and try and play with and work with and all that kind of stuff. It's hard to nail it down sometimes. I think my wife once said that my hobby is collecting hobbies, so it's true. And there's still some upgrades I want to do for the 3D printers. I have a Raspberry Pi that I want to put Octoprint on and set them up. I've printed a bunch of pieces for the Ender. It's hard to see from this angle. Let me see if the other camera. You can actually see back here in the background, you can see the wheels. One of my cameras, the camera that's usually on the CTC, I actually have inside the CTC, and I was using the Z-axis to raise and lower it to keep an eye on the filament spool that was running out earlier. Tiger says, just stream your printer. I could do some streams that are just the printer running, during the day or whatever. I gotta be careful about that, make sure everybody here knows what's going on, and there's no funny business. By which I mean like walking in here on the cell phone or something, and you know, some conversation getting overheard or whatever. But yeah, I could stream the printer running, and also some background music from Foey, our one and only channel sponsor right now. I was flustered getting set up tonight with the computer crashing and also the kind of stuff that I didn't have the background music playing on this time, but I still think it turned out alright. Also, since Tiger was here last week, I rearranged the office, and I'm sure to you guys it looks exactly the same, right? There's me, and then there's the computer screen or whatever's going on behind me. I'm actually 90 degrees from where I was before. The printers are behind me. You know, I've got the green screen right here, and you can see in the background, back here, this is the back of the green screen. So the printers are now behind me instead of beside me. The desks are turned around. The room feels a lot more open. It's a little more comfortable in here. You know, so there's all kinds of changes happening. We've got some new microphones to try out. All that kind of fun stuff. So, and again, I was streaming from the laptop to the Elgato this time too. So, so far, I think my favorite thing though has been the remote for switching without having to be right there on the computer. It really helped out whenever Tiger was over too, because we were so far away from the computer, and we had the camera feed up above and the one coming forward and all that kind of stuff, and the stuff on the screen too. So switching between all that stuff was really cool. So that's nice. And Streamlabs is always coming out with new updates and stuff too, so who knows what may come up. You know, the chat's been showing up on the screen tonight. This is something I decided I wanted to add in because I'm having the conversations with the people in the chat, but then when you watch, if somebody watches the video later, like, I don't know what they said. So that's why before I was like reading off everything people were saying. I still do that, but you know, acknowledge what was said and talk through what's going on there. But anyway, so all kinds of changes happening, always testing stuff. Tiger asked, does your tube moving back and forth at the squeaky spot? No. So one thing I noticed before, and I asked Tiger about this since he got the same printer, was every once in a while I hear a squeak. And what I noticed was it's, let's see if I can figure out how to show this to you. I think, where did it go? Hang on a sec. Do this. Oh, nope, lost it. If let's see if I can check this angle. Oh, no, it's not close enough. Well, anyway, the way the Bowden extruder works, what I noticed was Bowden extruder. The squeak on mine, I can't find a good picture of it. Ah, here we go. Okay. So what I've noticed is that when mine squeaks, the actual extruder gear is retracting, and I checked the settings, it's retracting by something like 8 millimeters. Now the CTC, it retracts by like 1 or something. I didn't change the settings yet. I actually like it retracting further. I know, and this one has a lot of lead filament, I guess, because there's so much past the gear. But when it squeaks, I've noticed it's this specific extruder gear when it's retracting. I didn't notice anything funny going on here. I thought maybe there was something going on where the tube attaches, but when I touched it, it didn't make a difference. So I don't know if maybe this needs some oil, or putting a one of the like the 3D printed caps or whatever on there would make a difference. Not TinkerCAD. Thingiverse. Come on. Thingiverse. Right, so like Tiger has a Monoprice Mini and has a little cap on top of a little cat that moves around. I think it's a cat. Ender 3 extruder knob. There's a bunch of different things available here. Like here's a Yoda, and here's, you know, so I wonder if putting one of these on top of it will make it not squeak as much because that vibration's not happening or something. I don't know. But yeah, it does squeak, but it doesn't squeak at the tube. Mine squeaks at the extruder gear when it's retracting. And it seemed like there was when I was searching on Google about it, there was a lot of people that had mentioned it. It seems kind of noisy right there. But so far that's the only negative that I've noticed, and really I don't notice it that much. Just the first couple of times I'm like, oh, what's squeaking? I need to check this out. But it was okay. So anyway, I think I'm gonna call it a night. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Garrett came by, Jed, Sajesh, Tiger, and you know, who knows? Maybe I can win the Creality CR10, and from making a puzzle using TinkerCAD and all this kind of stuff. So let's see. Tiger says both of my printers have tube movement. I don't think it's good. You mean the Ender 3 and the CR10? Both the what is it, PTFE tube moves? You said you printed the pressure coupler thing, right? So which part of the tube is actually moving? You know, does this end need to be tightened or something maybe? Or maybe in this picture you can see it looks like they've reprinted this block here. I saw a way to use TPU with Ender 3. There was a new piece to print right here so that it closes some gap that normally where the flexible filament would like fill up and ball up and cause a problem. But if you have the tube issues, I don't know. Maybe try and tighten it down or something. That's strange. I mean, this is the first time I've ever had a printer with the Bowden extruder, and sometimes I still have a little trouble getting the filament in there. But oh, I'm still showing that one. But yeah, I don't know. That's kind of strange. I don't know. I'll definitely keep an eye on that though, because if my tube starts having an issue, yeah, that's not cool. But man, I'm excited about this horse. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be great. And I need to switch over to the magnetic base as well. But this one's worked out pretty well, using it like a flexible base to pop pieces off of too. And anyway, cool. Well, thanks again everybody for hanging out. Tiger, let me know if you figure out what's going on with the tube movement there on both the printers, and I'll definitely keep an eye out for that. Hopefully that's not an issue. I'll give Jody the heads up on that too. He actually ordered one, I think yesterday or today. So after watching our video of the Ender 3 stuff, he got excited, and I told him he should have ordered it beforehand. We could have, you know, all three of us put them together at the same time. But